I think you should be able to see my screen. So again, welcome. So today we have 7 new features for ITarian and ITSM core, and 2 new features for cybersecurity, and 2 new features for CCS for Windows. So I will start with ITSM core features first, and then I will continue with cybersecurity features, and then lastly I will move on to CCS for Windows and show you what we have in the new release. So let's start with ITSM core. The first feature is when customers purchase new licenses directly on CAM. As you know, customers should manually activate those licenses on either ITarian portal or Endpoint Manager. So from now on, whenever they directly purchase any license on CAM, which are of course supported on ITarian, it will be automatically added on ITarian or Comodo Dragon or Comodo One. So let me show you. First, let's log into CAM and then purchase a product. Let's purchase an AEP product. Okay, let's purchase Advanced Endpoint Protection for 525 seats. Okay, so we have the license purchased, and this is the key, and it will last for 1 year. So now we expect this license to be appeared on related ITarian portal. So it may take up to 5 minutes to synchronize with CAM. So I will get back to this feature so that we don't lose time. So let me continue with the second feature. It is the VAT information addition into the PDF invoices. So customers from now on will be able to add their VAT information so that they can easily share their invoices with some financial companies. So let me show you how it's done. First, you need to go to Management and Account. And here you will see VAT numbers under phone numbers category. You can put numbers and characters as it accepts. Well, in some countries, VAT number also includes letters. It accepts up to 16 digit. And when you save, whenever you get an invoice, this number will be added into the invoice email plus the invoice PDF as well. So I've already created an invoice. So it is how it looks like on the invoice email, VAT number. And also it's how it's look like on the invoice PDF. So as you can see, VAT number is also present here. Is there any questions regarding this feature? Okay, then I will continue. So let's get back to the first feature, which is to auto-activate licenses purchased directly from CAM. So we go to Management Applications. And here, as you can see, we can see that the license that we have just purchased with this key is also appeared on ITarian portal automatically for 525 users. And let's check also the status on Endpoint Manager. So we go to License Management. And here, as you can see, that the license is also included and activated here as well. So the customers won't be in need of manually activating the licenses that they have purchased directly from CAM. So it will be automatically included. So if there is no question regarding this, I'm continuing with the other features. Okay. So the third feature is support for macOS 11. And also, let me continue with the fourth feature as well, since it's almost the same, I mean similar. We added 2 new operating system support. The first one is macOS 11. There's a problem on staging environment, so it's not listed there, but it will be written as 11.x. So currently we completed testing for the latest macOS 11 build. So it's also supports that version. And the second new operating system is Android 11.x. So from now on, Endpoint Manager is fully supporting Android 11 operating system, and also macOS 11 as well. So are there any questions regarding those two? If not, I'm continuing. Okay. So the fifth feature is to remove the autofocus from Reboot Now button. So let me show you. We go to Device Management. So as you know, when the endpoint needs to restart, we show a pop-up on endpoint to let the user know that the administrator has made some change on the endpoint. Thus, the endpoint will be rebooted in some predefined amount of time. But there's a problem there. The focus, when the pop-up appears, the focus is located on the Reboot Now button. So when a customer sees and I mean for working on something and the pop-up appears from nowhere, since the focus is located on the Reboot Now button, if the customer accidentally presses enter or space, that button is, since that button is focused, it starts rebooting immediately. that cause problems on the endpoint and end user side. So we decided to remove the focus from reboot now button and instead put the focus in time selection box. So let me show you. We select the device and let's reboot the device. I choose this option to be able to show you. And go to the endpoint.
Does this apply to patching too?
Yes, it applies everywhere.
Great.
Okay, so as you can see, the pop-up appeared. And when I click to enter, since the focus is located on here instead of this button, the user won't be able to accidentally reboot the endpoint.
Nice. Thank you.
So let me move to the next feature. The next feature is to add msedge.exe executable into web browser's file group. So as you know, we have some default file groups which are already added on Endpoint Manager to establish the ease of use for the customers. And we have some predefined file paths on browser section, web browser section. And as you know, Microsoft Edge has had this kind of executable path, but now they also included this one. So we also included this one into the web browsers file group section. So that's all for this feature. So whenever they decide to use web browsers file group in any configuration, msedge.exe will also be included. And the last feature is we have made some change on custom script monitoring triggering methods. So when you go to monitors, let's create a monitor, custom script. We choose custom script. And now we have added a new triggering method called by status change. It was only by status before now, which means that actually currently whenever a custom script monitor is run on the endpoint, and if the alert is on, I mean, if it is triggered once, you need to wait for the alert to turn off and turn on again, and only then you will receive a second alert. Because whenever the alert is turned on, other checks won't affect the alert triggering mechanism. So we changed that, we decided to change that and put a second status triggering method, let's say. So when you choose by status change, it means that the monitor will trigger only if the status is changed from off to on. For example, we started this monitor and it is checking, for example, once per minute. it's doing something on the endpoint. And then when the condition is satisfied, the alert is triggered and it is shown on portal. But in the second iteration, after 1 minute, when the custom script is run again on the same endpoint, and if it catches that the alert is still on, with this triggering method, it won't create another alert. But by the second option just checks whether the status is on or off for each iteration of the custom script. That means that whenever the custom script is run on the endpoint, and if it finds out that the condition is on, condition is met, it triggers an alert. So I have created, already created the two different triggering methods. So the first one is by status change. And as you can see, it only triggered when the status is changed from off to on, which means that there were only two tickets that were created. I mean, only two alerts that were triggered with this triggering method. But whenever we choose by status triggering method, as you can see on each run of the custom script, whenever it is caught as on, I mean the condition is met, it triggered an alert. So as you can see, there are 4 tickets. It is less than what we have caught, because the same, there is a configuration on service desk side, I mean here, but whenever the same alert is triggered more than once, it appends to the initial ticket. So that's why we have less tickets than our alert count. So do you have any questions regarding this?
No, just that we have made some scripts in around this because it was such a problem for so long, and now we just need to make sure, which is the default when you are importing now, status change, or what's when I import a custom
old
script?
Status actually means status change. So the
Old status is status change.
Yes, I mean we had only one triggering method for custom scripts, and it is actually the status change, because it only listens if the status is changed from off to on, right?
Yeah.
So the default is by status change for existing custom scripts.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's all for ITSM and ITarian portal side. So if you don't have any questions, I will move on to cybersecurity side. Okay, so we have 2 new features on cybersecurity. The first one is DLP screenshot rule, and the second one is virtual desktop to support ability to set timeout to pause the sessions. So let's start with the first one, the DLP screenshot rule. So we can now create screenshot rules on the DLP section. We can choose the reputation of the applications to be monitored, any trusted, unrecognized, and malicious, just the same as removal storage. And we have 2 actions. we can either ignore or block. So let's choose this one, and we have the option to log on the endpoint whenever this action is performed. We can add file groups, file hash, folder, or process hash to monitor, actually. And here you will see the profiles. So I've created already a screenshot rule. It has one criteria. It will monitor PDF files, Adobe Reader. So whenever this monitor screenshot rule is activated on the endpoint, we expect that none of the PDF files, a screenshot can be taken. And since now we have created our screenshot rule, let's go to profiles. Data loss prevention section. Go to monitoring. And as you can see, it's already added, but you can add the necessary rules from here. You can remove it. So this is currently turned off. So I want to demonstrate you how it is working on the endpoint right now. So the rule is not activated on the endpoint. And let's check on CCS side. Go to data loss prevention, DLP monitoring. As you can see, it is disabled right now, but we have one rule. So let's check. I have a PDF. And also in this endpoint, Lightshot is also installed. This is a screenshot application. So as you can see, I am able to take screenshots from a PDF file. So now let's turn on the DLP monitoring so that it starts monitoring the conditions that we have created. So let's go to the endpoint. It takes some time to synchronize with the endpoint. Okay, now it's enabled. Let's close this. So I'm clicking print screen right now, and it does nothing, as you can see. So let's exit Lightshot so that Windows print screen is activated again. So I'm just pressing the print screen button. Let's open Paint. And let's try to paste it. As you can see, I cannot do anything right now. So there is no possibility to take screenshots from a PDF which is opened on Adobe Reader. Do you have any questions regarding this?
So in that case, whatever we add in on the criteria will be blocked.
Correct.
Got it. So even a browser?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And let me move to the second one. The second feature is Virtual Desktop to support the ability to set timeout to pause an inactive session. So on Profiles Containment section, we have, as you know, Virtual Desktop section. And now we added a new option to set the duration of inactive virtual desktop session before it is automatically paused. There is a minor wrong wording here. It will be corrected. So let's enable both of them to 1 minute and save. Now go back to the endpoint. And on containment, virtual desktop. So this will be activated in a couple of seconds, I guess. Sorry that the endpoint for demo is too slow right now. Okay, so it's added. So let's go and start a virtual desktop session. We hit tasks, containment tasks, and run virtual desktop. Okay, so the virtual desktop is started. So we will wait for 1 minute to see if this is paused or not. In the meantime, do you have any questions? regarding any of the features?
I'm good.
Okay. So let me move to CCS features to not lose time. The first one is again about virtual desktop, which is to establish virtual desktop password and disclaimer options to not modifiable by users. So again, we go to virtual desktop section, and here we have two options: request password when exiting virtual desktop and show disclaimer upon virtual desktop startup. So when the allow user to override virtual desktop settings option is disabled on portal side, the users won't be able to change this and this option. So it will be shown on the endpoint on CCS, but it cannot be changed. So let me show you that. Let's go. Okay, as you can see, the virtual desktop is paused and inactivated actually, because we have also set inactivation time for 1 minute. So it is first paused after 1 minute, and then it is inactivated and terminated after another minute. So let's go to normal window. And go back to CCS feature. So on containment, virtual desktop, as you can see, those two options are disabled. So the customer, the end user, won't be able to disable requesting password or disable disclaimer visualization. They will be able to change the password if they know the original password, but they also will be able to change the disclaimer settings, but they won't be able to disable them. Do you have any questions regarding this?
They will be able to change the password, but not edit the disclaimer.
They will be able to edit the disclaimer, but not hide the disclaimer if it is also already shown.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So the second feature for CCS is actually not a feature, but it's rather more an improvement. As you know, sometimes CCS won't be able to fetch the file hash from some detection or scans. That was because of the way of getting the file information from the endpoint. So now CCS uses a different way for real-time file checking. And now around 100%, almost 100% of time, the files will have all the information pushed to the portal. So there is nothing to show, I mean, about the demo, but it's about a ticket that file hashes being missed on portal when a file is caught, for example, as malware. So it will fix the missing file hash issue. Is there any question about that?
It's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so that's all for this release. If you have any questions, please ask for any of the features. Okay, so that's all. That's all from our side. So thank you for participating in our ITarian, Comodo 1 and Dragon platform 2021 March release demo. So I wish you a good week. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Ilgaz. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ilgaz.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.